Step into a realm where the primary fascination is observing individuals ruthlessly thrash the first unattractive target they stumble upon. Amidst this unchanged landscape, we encounter Paco, a relatively average content creator. At present, he's in the midst of celebrating a monumental achievement: 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. Amidst his accumulated influence, Paco has successfully connected with one of his classmates turned roommates. She graces his channel as a guest while embarking on her own journey as a new YouTuber. Proficient in navigating the algorithm's favor, she predominantly focuses on makeup tutorials. However, her treatment of a hapless volunteer who offered to be her model suggests that solitary makeup application in a dimly lit room might be the wiser choice. Meanwhile, Hoban, displaying foresight, avoids agreeing to such ventures. Yet, the looming threat of physical harm serves as a compelling motivator, leading him to inadvertently make a spectacle of himself. He puts on a facade for the camera, attempting to force the most unnatural smile I've ever seen. However, when solitude envelops him, his true feelings surface. The sole reason he endures the abuse is clear. Despite Paco being as dumb as a bag of rocks, his channel turns him into a wealthy fool, thanks to his adeptness at cashing in. It's this knowledge that keeps Hoban enduring the mistreatment. While Ruby doesn't boast as vast a following as Paco, she merely needs to reveal a bit of cleavage on stream to kickstart a flood of donations. On the flip side, Hoban has absolutely no leverage. He lacks intelligence, wealth, and is simply unattractive. For someone in his position, the only recourse is to swallow his pride and acknowledge his lack of prospects. As he heads back to the classroom, he's met with a gut-wrenching dropkick. Another classmate, enraged by Hoban's unsettling appearance which violates community guidelines, confronts him. This is Snapper, Paco's cameraman and a member of a rowdy clique. Despite his prowess in fights, the sight of Hoban momentarily unnerves him. Glancing around for reassurance from his friends, Snapper regains confidence. Eager to ride on the coattails of his friend's success, he volunteers to be Paco's cameraman. The sudden revelation that over $30,000 in revenue was generated in just 20 minutes shocks Hoban to his core, especially considering his chronic financial struggles. Contemplating the idea of starting a new channel himself, he finds that Snapper has similar thoughts. Approaching Paco, Snapper inquires about the process of launching a new channel. Being the supportive friend he is, Paco agrees to assist, but acknowledges that as a minor, Snapper will need adult assistance to sign up and receive revenue. However, this poses a challenge for Snapper, given his strained relationship with his parents due to past theft incidents. So they're not on the best of terms? Snapper then comes up with a brilliant idea and walks over to Hoban, who's still laying on the floor. He currently asks him if his mother is still alive since he knows she's pretty sick. But since she's not exactly using the account right now, he tells Hoban to go steal his dying mother's bank account because he wants to use it. The others laugh at Hoban, and this is a lot of disrespect being thrown his way, which most people wouldn't let that slide, but it's a 3-on-1 right now. So even if he wants to punch them all so bad, he couldn't bring himself to do it. Hoban later goes to the hospital to visit his mother. She's attempting to maintain a cheerful demeanor, but Hoban can see through her facade. Her condition isn't improving. His mother notices the bruises on his face, her worry palpable. It's clear to her that something is amiss, yet Hoban brushes it off, denying any involvement in fights to spare her concern. He retreats downstairs, troubled by the sight of his mother facing a daunting $30,000 hospital bill. To him, that's an entire week spent flipping burgers just to alleviate her financial burden. But then he witnesses others effortlessly making that much in 20 minutes, exacerbating his sense of life's unfairness. Despite this, a glimmer of hope remains within him, nurtured by his proximity to his crush, Bomi. Yet given his luck, he wouldn't be astonished if she starts favoring Paco for his fame. Bomi approaches him, inquiring about the location of the beef patties, and he directs her to the walk-in refrigerator, receiving her gratitude. However, he's not the only one smitten. Hoban finds himself enamored with Bomi, considering her the restaurant's idol. Merely catching a glimpse of her brings him joy. Suddenly, a familiar voice echoes through the room. Paco's. Anxious about being spotted, Hoban is taken aback when he learns that Paco's interest lies in Bomi, who has garnered attention for her attractiveness at Mickey D's. Paco unveils a scheme, challenging Bomi to prepare a burger in 30 seconds. Failure to do so means surrendering her phone number. Feeling cornered, Hoban realizes he must act swiftly to prevent Paco from extinguishing his last glimmer of hope. Knowing Bomi's inexperience, he swiftly intervenes, completing the challenge before Paco can even process it, safeguarding his chance to catch Bomi's eye. With swift hands, Hoban completes the burger and proudly sets it on the counter. Detailing how he meticulously crafted it to his liking, fly included, he knows facing Paco's fury at school tomorrow is inevitable. Yet, he believes it's a small price to pay to safeguard Bomi from Paco's advances. Perhaps his bold move even earns him some favor with her. Returning home later that night, Hoban settles for a dinner of ramen. However, his peace is disrupted by a looming issue. Snapper's demand to stream at his house, backed by threats. As if coercing Hoban into divulging his mother's bank account details wasn't enough, Snapper demands his ramen, which isn't even intended for him. Fuming, Hoban spits in the bowl before reluctantly handing it over. Meanwhile, Snapper rakes in $30,000 in donations from someone else's home, prompting Hoban to contemplate negotiating a share of the revenue for the use of his house. However, as he approaches Snapper, a mishap occurs. Tripping over the extension cable, he accidentally disconnects Snapper's game and spills the hot, saliva-filled ramen on him. Enraged, Snapper launches into a violent assault on Hoban, blaming him for the loss of donations. Hoban is stunned to find himself being attacked in his own home. When Snapper cruelly suggests he's responsible for his mother's cancer, Hoban reaches his breaking point. Grabbing some kimchi, he hurls it at Snapper before delivering a well-deserved uppercut. In the heat of the moment, Snapper retaliates with a punch, but Hoban easily withstands it, realizing Snapper's hits lack force. Encouraged, he continues to fight back, realizing that standing up for himself isn't as daunting as he had previously believed. Grabbing more kimchi, he engages in a food fight with Snapper. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the city, a girl stumbles upon the chaotic scene of two boys battling in their boxers with food. While she doesn't respect their actions, they've certainly piqued her interest. After the skirmish ends and Snapper is ejected, Hoban is left to survey the wreckage of his home, the pain setting in as adrenaline fades. Worries about repair costs gnaw at him, but he pushes them aside, opting to collapse on the floor and drift into sleep. The next morning, Hoban is jolted awake by a frantic call from Snapper, who's in a state of panic. Snapper's panicked voice demands that Hoban take the video down, but Hoban is perplexed, unaware of any footage. He assumed the stream ended when the computer shut down, but the web camera remained active, capturing everything in 4K resolution. Snapper reveals that the fight video has been uploaded to New You and he faces dire consequences if his parents see it. Additionally, losing to someone wielding kimchi is a blow to his reputation. Hoban, incredulous, checks New You and finds the video online, showcasing their kimchi-fueled skirmish. Overnight, their antics have gone viral, spreading across the globe. Hoban grapples with the sudden shift from local to international scrutiny, fearing he's gone from being bullied locally to becoming a target on a global scale. However, just as he contemplates deleting the video to spare himself further humiliation, he stumbles upon a common thread discussing the revenue generated by views. Each view translates to 0.1 yen, and with over 10 million views already, Hoban has made 1 million yen overnight. Back at school, the kimchi fight has become the talk of the town. Snapper, devastated by the plummeting of his social status due to the video, realizes he must act swiftly to reclaim his place on the social ladder. Snapper, desperate to reclaim his social status, targets the class geek, hoping for an easy victory. However, after his humiliating defeat to Kimchi, even the geek has the confidence to stand up to him. Snapper's reliance on Paco's intimidation tactics proves futile now that he's severed ties with him. Meanwhile, Hauben finds himself at the hospital, where he learns that his mother's treatment costs have skyrocketed to $120,000. While this would have been a dire situation before, Hauben is now wealthy thanks to the viral video. Out of nowhere, Snapper Sucker punches Hauben, furious at becoming a laughingstock due to the viral video. He demands half of the revenue generated from the views. However, Hauben, no longer the same timid person as before, retaliates immediately, aiming for Snapper's vulnerable areas. Refusing to share any of the money, he points out that it's all in his mother's account, and it was her details used to create the stream. The fight ensues, but this time, Hauben faces Snapper without fear, having already stood up to him once before. As evening approaches, Hauben finds himself consoling a tearful Snapper, yet he remains resolute in his decision not to share the video revenue. That's when Snapper reveals a video he recorded of their recent altercation. Hauben questions Snapper's intention to post the video, but Snapper wisely refrains, knowing it would likely backfire. Instead, he proposes a partnership, recognizing that with Hauben's help, they could both profit immensely. Despite his dislike for Snapper, Hauben is enticed by the prospect of making money. After all, he played a role in Paco's success as his producer, and there's much about streaming that Hauben has yet to learn. Offering to become Hauben's producer, Snapper intends to manipulate him into generating wealth, while plotting to eventually take control of the account. As they discuss profit sharing, Snapper suggests a lopsided split, with him taking 90% and Hauben only receiving 10%. Seeing through Snapper's scheme, Hauben defiantly rejects the unfair deal, flipping him off before walking away. Snapper, realizing his only chance at redemption hinges on cooperation with Hauben, panics once again, exciting continuation. Hauben, unimpressed but begrudgingly accepting the deal, agrees to the 10% cut. Curious about the content plan, he asks Snapper for details. Snapper, realizing he underestimated Hauben's intelligence, shares his idea: videos of Hauben confronting bullies in real time.